I'm testing some of the craziest 1-star reviews on Amazon for Nintendo Switch accessories, and I can't believe some of them exist. After I test an accessory, I'll give it my own review as well, and I have to be completely honest. Starting with game case question block. Nikki says, too small! With an exclamation mark. If you want to break all your games, this is a good way to do it. Cheap plastic, not worth the price, and doesn't work at all. Was way smaller than they made it out to be. None of my game cards fit, and if I had pushed any harder, they would have broken in half. Do not waste your money! 1 star. Next, Laura N. says hard to open. Pretty hard to open, not really user friendly. I'll be the judge of that. As someone who isn't good at opening things, I'm curious how hard this really will be. It's question block time! Premium game card case. Let's test this out. See if our games break or fall out. I do need more places to store my games. I kind of have a lot. See what I mean? I don't even know how to open this. Oh! Well, if it wasn't broken before, it's broken now. It's got a little button on top, and I think I just click it and it opens. Oh! What the heck? So this can hold 15 or 16 games. There's 2 ways to put games in. You can slide them in from the top. That goes in pretty easily. I got no complaints with that. And if I push them in, they're not gonna break. Oh my, holy smokes, gang. I actually might break this. The reviews might be right. As we can see, this is a game card, Among Us to be exact. If I put it in here, it's actually difficult to put in. Oh, that did not feel good. Oh my gosh. And it actually is hard to get out. Holy smokes! Oh, it damaged my game. I don't know if you can see that. Got a little scuff on it now. Dang, the resale value of Among Us just plummeted. How do I even close this? That's it. And then this is not practical in the slightest. This doesn't make any sense. Who would buy this? As Laura said, pretty hard to open, not user-friendly. I would actually agree with that. I guess it's fine to open, but it's actually pretty difficult to close. You gotta do them all in the right order, and then you gotta put the front out to get the top on. Nikki says it's too small. I don't think it's too small, but like she was saying, if you wanna break all your games, this actually is a good way to do that. And I don't wanna break my games. This is the most 1-star accessory I've ever seen in my life. Let me get this out. I'm actually bending the cartridge. I thought I broke it. That is an awful, awful design. And once again, it scuffed the sides of the cartridge. That's bad. Let's write my review. Next up, this dock. Why does it look like that? Joshua says, garbage! Screws up TV. Oh no. This displays the Switch on my TV, but there is a very noticeable delay. Also, the image quality is weird and oversaturated compared to the normal dock. Worst part was, it would mess up the TV input, making it think it was connecting and disconnecting repeatedly. It would make my speaker switch from TV to surround sound over and over. Worthless, returning. 1 star. Oh my goodness. I would hate if my Switch made my TV surround sound. I don't actually think the Switch can support surround sound, so what's up with that? Brittany says, meh. Audio doesn't work at all. It claims to be fast. It's not. It works half the time. 1 star. I'm not sure what she means by fast, maybe input delay, but I'm curious to test this out. Also, I've seen people say that third-party docks like this can brick your Switch, completely destroying it. So let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, let's test it out. Multi-function adapter. It doesn't even say Nintendo Switch dock. Portable docking station compatible with Nintendo Switch. I'm honestly scared. It says on the back, 4K at 30 Hertz resolution. The Switch can't even output that. The bottom says multiplayer and expanded big screen gaming. This is sketchy. I'm actually scared to use this. Let's open it up. The color alone screams, let me break your Switch. Need use Switch. That's what it says. That is a red flag. The Nintendo Switch logo on the front, there's not a Nintendo Switch logo. Pretty much the reason that docks brick Switches in the first place is that the voltage from this isn't the proper voltage that's supposed to go to a Nintendo Switch, and then the Switch says, what's happening? And then it explodes and dies. So I'm glad that I can experiment that with my beautiful Nintendo Switch OLED. This is my livelihood. This is why I can eat food. Thank you for watching. Let's do this. Just to prevent major damage, I'm using an official Nintendo brick, and as we can see, we got an HDMI, a USB-A, and a USB-C. So we'll power it through the USB-C. Do you hear that noise? It's a little messy in here. That's just how us content creators roll. Okay, now let's put the HDMI in. Perfect. The moment of truth. I'm actually scared to do this, but for science. Oh, this is not an Xbox, hold on. That was a close one. All right, let's test this out. I'm not seeing anything wrong with it so far. Joshua says that there's a lot of delay. I would not say that there is actually a lot of delay at all. I'm not seeing that. And trust me, I know delay when I see it. Would I be able to do this? I don't think so. There's actually not that much delay. I'm happy with that. They also say that it's oversaturated and looks weird. Again, I'm not seeing that here. It doesn't really look any different than my regular Switch. Yo, I don't know what happened there. It's not making my speakers go into surround sound. I don't have surround sound, but it's not doing that, so that's good. I'm sorry, Joshua, but your review is busted. Oh, wait a second. There is maybe a touch more contrast on the image, but also how would you know unless you looked at it from side by side? Brittany says the audio doesn't work at all and claims that it's not fast. To me, this seems like an average dock. I don't want to use this for very long, but I'm impressed. This is a lot better than I thought. I still wouldn't recommend it because Nintendo tells us not to do it. Who knows if that's just a money thing, but I'm gonna say 3 stars on this one. Here's my review. Next up, this game case. It has Zelda on it. Terry says, does not hold game. It does not hold the game. They keep falling out when I open the case. But A says, bad design does not hold cartridges. Maybe A and Terry need to meet with each other. Does not hold cartridges in place. Do not waste your time ordering this. 1 star. I don't understand how a game case doesn't hold the games. Let's try it out. It looks like the design of this is like Tears of the Kingdom. It's got like the swirls on the box. That's actually pretty cool. Protection, anti-fooling, and skin friendly. Whatever that means. All right. Ooh. So what I liked about this is, first of all, yes, the design is really cool, but it also has multiple layers in it. The one I currently have only has 1. Let's see. Oh, it's got magnets. I love the magnets. It also seems that it has micro SD cards in it. As a guy who does YouTube videos and uses a lot of micro SD cards, that's the play. So let's test this out. As we know, the main complaint about this one is that Terry and A both have a problem with the games falling out. So it's simple. We put games in. Among Us, my poor broken Among Us. So far, it doesn't feel too bad, but with putting these games in here, oh, some of them are definitely not fully in. Oh, yeah, it is kind of light. Oh my. Normally, you just have it closed like this. Fine, I don't have a problem with that. But they say that when they open it, the games fall out. They actually did fall out. What a scam! I'm angry. I'm just kidding, I'm not angry. But yes. Can you imagine if you were on a plane and you were opening your game holder and then a bunch of games just fell out? That would actually be very bad. So let's try it out. Let's put some of them on the top one. Let's see if they fall out this way. I think a 1-star review is a little extreme. Definitely not 1 star, but I'd say 2.5 stars. I think it does its purpose fine. It's very cheap for a reason, and it's not as snug as you want them to be. But as long as you're careful and you don't open them up above a bridge, then this might actually be okay. I like how many games it can hold, though it's not the highest quality, and definitely doesn't feel super premium. But hey, it's got that Legend of Zelda design. Next up, Nintendo Switch cartridge reader. Marissa says, not good. Great idea, but it was unable to power off my Switch while this device was plugged in. Returned immediately. Ooh, that's a little sketchy. Why wouldn't you be able to turn off your Switch? What's that about? Annette says, it didn't never come on or work. It never comes on or lights never come on for the Switch. 1 star. I don't understand. Amazon customer, product failed and damaged games. The product worked as advertised and saved the time of inserting and removing game cartridges. After 1 week, the card reader began having intermittent power cycling, and consequently, one of the loaded game cartridges was damaged. The game card reader was returned. 1 star. Obviously, breaking games is not a good thing. Let's see how this goes. You put this thing into the Nintendo Switch, this little card reader, it's like a dummy card reader, put 4 games in storage on the bottom, and then it reads 4 of the game cards on top. And then when I click this, it'll swap between the games. But will it make my Nintendo Switch not go into rest mode? Let's find out. This is actually pretty cool. You strap it on the back of your Switch dock and just plug it in. Not bad. And after using this cartridge dock for a few days now, did it break? No, it was fine. I also didn't have a power cycling issue and it didn't damage any of my games that I know of. It's actually a cool little reader and there's even a remote you can use if you want to change the games from the couch without needing to go all the way over to it and click the button on the top. So I actually really like it. The main problem for me is the fact I need to remove the dummy cartridge whenever I want to use my Switch portably. So in that case, it's not the most convenient, but here's my review. Next up technically isn't an accessory, it's actually a game. But I've had so many issues with ordering Amazon games, like having a disc fall out of the actual case when I opened it when I got games on PlayStation, or maybe the plastic wrap isn't on. So I decided I was finally going to get Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. DMH says, not the ESRB title from third-party seller. I know Nintendo Switch plays games from various regions, and that's great and all, but I solely collect ESRB titles, and getting a different version that advertised is such a scam. As we can see, they didn't actually get a North American American version of the game, and they ordered it in North America. So yeah, that's a problem. And trust me, come here, look at this. I collect games myself. If I did not get a North American version, I would be upset. DL says, not the Canadian version. This could be a fluke mistake from the warehouse, but this is not the Canadian version, despite the product page clearly stating Luigi's Mansion 2 HD CAN version. This is the English-Spanish version. Here in Canada, we have games with both English and French on them. Is my copy that I'm gonna get English or Spanish? Let's test it out. People obviously had complaints about the game itself. That's not what we're looking at. We're seeing if they actually sent me the right one, because Amazon is a goofy guy sometimes. Sometimes the case is very damaged. And when I got this game, the outside packaging was actually very dirty. I don't know why. I don't know if a dog got a hold of it or something, but after taking out the plastic wrap, it's actually pretty clean. There's some minor scuffs on the case itself, but it's in pretty good condition, all things considered. Could be a lot worse. Now, is it the French or the Spanish version? We know that DL got the Spanish version, and we don't want that. I don't actually know if this is French. Is this French or Spanish?
It's French.
It is French.
Yeah, it's French.
It's French! 5-star. Next up, Joy-Con gun. Julian says, don't waste your money. Cheap, 1 star. It is cheap. Just in general, it's a cheap accessory. Jenny says, just a holder. Lots of dollars just for a fancy remote holder that doesn't work. I don't really understand what she means by it doesn't work. It is just plastic, unless it has some computer chip in it. Let's see. Padre says, still have to use your thumb to control where you aim. When you put the controllers in, you still have to use your thumb. This is not a motion sensor gun to use for any shooting game on the Switch. Jeez. Chill, Padre. I guess his understanding was that it wasn't just plastic and that it had some sort of gyro control right stick in it, and maybe it does, but let's test it out and see. Now, I've used this before, I'm not gonna lie, and it's awful. You pretty much put the left Joy-Con in the top. Oh, and it like grinds. It is it's not a pretty sound. As you can see, at least you still get access to this back button, which is pretty cool. And then you put the right one in the bottom side, and once again we get a little bit of a grinding sound. Oh, the concept is cool. These are really only compatible in like 2 games, which are like the hunter games that I've seen, but it also uses the gyro in a game like Fortnite. We love Fortnite, and yeah, you can shoot it and it actually feels like the trigger, and it's not very ideal and it's not very comfortable. However, these are my favorite Joy-Cons. Got them as a gift. They damaged them. So while yes, Julian, it is cheap, and you might be angry about the overall features about it and how it doesn't have gyro built in or whatever the complaint was, but I think the real problem here, and the reason I don't like it or want to use it, is because it literally damaged my controller, which is very, very sad. Also, how in the world do I get it out? Seriously, how do I get this out? Oh, you can see there's little scuff marks on it. And look at the pink one, it's even worse. Look at that. Do not get this. 1 star. It's time for the review. But before we move on, want to know what's not a 1-star Nintendo Switch accessory? MOBA Pad M6. And yeah, they sponsored this video, let's go. Their new M6 HD controller is honestly one of the most solid Switch Joy-Con alternatives I've ever used. It's packed with unique features like mechanical buttons. I never used a pair of controllers on the Switch that have mechanical buttons. You can just hear it. They're so unique, and I like it. Way better than the mushy buttons I've actually gotten used to. And if you're worried about stick drift, like a lot of Nintendo Switch controller getters are, fear not, because these boys have Hall effect sticks. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you don't gotta worry about stick drift, you're just playing smooth. Also, you have the option to switch between octagonal and circular gates around the joysticks. You can fine tune the feel for whatever game you're playing. It's also got dual axis HD rumble for better, more immersive feedback. Plus it even has NFC for scanning amiibo. What? And of course it has motion controls, rapid fire, and even app customization. You can remap buttons mid-game or download and share custom profiles with just a QR code. So if you're looking to upgrade your controller setup, check out the MobilePad M6, first link in the description. Look how snazzy my Switch looks. It just looks clean. Thanks again to MobilePad for sponsoring this video. Now let's proceed. Next up, this Nintendo Switch VR headset. What in the world? iTech1 Ken says, the worst of the worst VR headset. Don't let its looks fool you. I don't know, maybe where it comes from people might have giant heads, but seriously, the size won't rest on anybody's adult head. So imagine on a kid. The result is that you have all the flat of the mask directly on your face, and it gets quite painful after a few seconds. Having a cancer would be way better than have this crap on your face more than an hour. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Okay, that's a little extreme. Oh my gosh, I'm actually in shock. The ergonomic look is useless, and it's just for the marketing's sake, so don't let it fool you. It's terrible, way worse than the cheap Walmart $15 VR smartphone headset. 1 star. Tammy and Russell say, junk! Waste of money unless you want to end up cross-eyed. Do not buy! It's cheap and only like glasses inside a piece of foam. I want money back. We'll be contacting Amazon. 1 star. Reviews are not popular on this one, but maybe M&J give us some clarification. I am so disappointed. Bought it for my grandson. It was heavy on his face. It didn't focus off-centered. Just garbage. Don't waste your money. Definitely fail for being the cool grandma this year. 1 star. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a grandma, but I don't think this is your fault. Let's test it out and see if I should give it away as a hypothetical grandmother. VR headset for NS and NS OLED. They're not allowed to say Nintendo Switch. Obviously, this is not an official Nintendo product, but they got the red box. They're trying to make it look as Nintendo as it can be. As we can see on the back, the product feature says adjustable focus distance, securely fix your Nintendo Switch console, adjustable head strap, comfortable to wear, easy to install and remove, which is exactly what everyone on the reviews said it didn't do. Let's open this up and test this out. Now you might be thinking, the Nintendo Switch doesn't support VR games. And that's actually right, but you might remember a little thing called Nintendo Labo. Nintendo Labo had a VR headset, and pretty much there was a handful of games, including Breath of the Wild and Smash Bros, that support the VR. I know it's crazy, you probably haven't even used them. I think the purpose of this is to just replace that Labo headset, and if it's not, then I have no idea what it's for. So this was actually pretty cheap, it was 20 bucks, and it's like a cloth material, all Velcro, and then I guess this is where you put the Switch. Oh look, it's got a free snack too. This is actually lighter than I thought. It's not some cheap plastic. You can charge it through the bottom, it seems. I'm really excited to try this out. This is probably my most anticipated. I'm gonna make it just as big as it goes, because as we know, Grandma had a hard time getting it on her grandson's head. I'm sure this would make you go blind if you had this on long enough. Yo, I should walk around with this for 24 hours. That'd make a good video. How does it look? It's a lot more comfortable than I expected it to be. For 20 bucks, I think it'll get the job done, but we'll have to test it out with the actual Switch, because you know, that's kind of the point of this. I'm gonna use Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You see, if you go to Games and More, and then you click VR, it actually lets you go into VR. Please insert the console into the Toy-Con VR goggles. My screen's a little dirty, maybe I should probably clean that off. I press OK. All right, here we go. I'm excited for this. Now, I know that the regular Nintendo Switch and the Switch OLED are different sizes, but it seems that this was pretty well thought out. It's a good thing that the fans are accessible from this. I didn't even think about that, but I'm glad they did. And then we got the little 2 gears, which move the inside, the distance of the goggles, as you can see. Let's test this out. Oh, it is heavy. Holy smokes. Okay, it wasn't bad when it wasn't the Switch inside, but now that the Switch is inside, it's like really heavy. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy smokes. But I can see the Switch. I've never actually done VR in the Switch. VR only lets me use a certain set of stages in Smash Bros for some reason. Oh my goodness, I'm playing like this. Holy smokes. Is this how I'm supposed to play? It didn't even let me connect a controller unless I played like this. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I think if I just had it on my face like this with a controller, it would be the worst thing in the entire world. But if I'm holding it up and I'm balancing it on my face like this, which I think is how you're supposed to use it, it's not horrible. Like obviously this isn't the future of VR.
It's not really like VR, it's almost like if you were at the movie theater and you're just sitting way too close and you're forced to look side to side. That's kind of what it's like.
It seems to me that the headset wasn't used in the intended way it should have been in the reviews. While this isn't comfortable at all and the weight of the Switch kind of makes everything difficult, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to hold the Joy-Cons while you use this. I also didn't have a problem with my eyes and I didn't go cross-eyed yet, but it's definitely not the most comfortable experience. I think the biggest problem isn't even the headset itself. It's more just the concept of it. This was supposed to be a Nintendo Labo thing, but as you know, Labo just died. And playing this isn't supposed to be enhancing the experience, it's just supposed to be its own little fun experience in and of itself. The Switch screen itself is also just low resolution, and being this close makes me see like all of the pixels. So yeah, this isn't the best experience, but here's my review. That was so much fun. Thank you to all the channel members who support and consider becoming one yourself. We got lots of extra content for you. And check out this video on the screen. YouTube thinks you're gonna wanna watch it. And consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. See you later.